Conor McGregor versus Diaz this weekend. Another mountaintop for the MMA world and the world of UFC. But before I get started today, I got a few things and a lot of questions that I keep hearing out here in social media, out there. And it's my duty to answer questions that seem to be asinine. And these questions are also coming over on network television, like ESPN and other networks that follow Fox. So it's my duty to break the fight world down round by round. But before I get started on that tip, my name is Eric A. Bradley, aka The Real Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching. And you're watching Master Boxing, because this is where we break the fight world down round by round. Now, MMA, UFC, this question about UFC versus boxing, I have to depict this straight out of the gate because it's an absolute asinine comparison. It would be the same thing comparing an NFL team to a college team just because a college team has won the national championship. Why do you say that? Think about this, my friends. MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. That means it's a compilation of skills put together to create one sport. So, saying that, boxing is one sport. It's one training regimen, one skill set. So, in order for a boxer to actually go into competition against an MMA fighter, they would have to actually be trained in MMA, mixed martial arts, that is, not just being in a combat sport. Second of all, I mean, when you really think about it, you can understand why people say that, because a lot of people who are saying that are casual fans. They don't understand the blood and sweat that goes into training to fight. But if you put a guy from the world of UFC in the ring with a boxer, the boxer has more skills in boxing. And if a fighter from boxing goes into the UFC, into that octagon, untrained in octagomics, well, of course, there's no, you can't, it's just like putting a rugby team against an NFL team and the rugby team has no pads. It's called ill-equipped for that conversation. So think about things before you lead on to that conversation, people, because it's absolutely asinine. So you put one in that sport and try them out, and you put the other one in the other sport and try it out. It's never going to mix. Every once in a while you'll get a lucky rabbit, but besides that, skills in these sports are serious, and anyone that takes them that light has to be nothing short of a casual or aka a fanboy, because that question and comparison, real coaches and people from those worlds truly understand the sobriety of that matchup. Would you put Rocky Marciano in the ring with Lennox Lewis? No, because Rocky Marciano was 5'9", 185 pounds soaking wet. Lennox Lewis was nearly 6'6", 265 pounds. That is absolutely bananas. So think about these kind of comparisons. And MMA, the world of UFC, is here. Why? Because of the world of boxing continuously staying afloat, keeping that rail, that holy rail, on in the conversation of millions of people for hundreds of years, not just a decade or two. So respect the science of mixed martial arts, because boxing has carried its cachet for so long that there is a reason that there is possible conversation about these two ever clashing, because they're supporting each other. So, and everybody says, is it better? No, it's no better or worse. MMA, UFC is going to have its ups and downs just like boxing did. Everything will. And the fact that the UFC was carried by a female for the past couple of years says a lot about the sport and it's all. They needed a hero, just like boxing needs a hero. The NFL need heroes. Look at the guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers. These names that bounce off of your tongue, they're carrying the sport. You know, Steph Curry, LeBron James. Why do you know these names? Because marketing needs that to carry a sport. So MMA has McGregor, now HOLM, Ronda Rousey. And to speak of those names, what happens when a boxer meets someone from the UFC, a trained boxer athlete in the UFC? Ask Ronda Rousey. That's all I got to say about that. It's two of the same things. Combat sports, ride or die. I had to break that down before we got started. The weigh-in was absolutely, it was telling. Conor McGregor is doing something that is nearly suicidal, because when you see fighters come into a sport and they break all the rules that people are used to experiencing, that is serious stuff. And Conor McGregor going from 145 to 170 in combat sports, people, is suicide. But this guy has the confidence and he has the wherewithal to keep this thing and the UFC on a ride that it's never seen before. Not even Ronda Rousey took them on this kind of a ride. Conor McGregor has shown to be one of the most illmatic fighters that has come into the sport or sports altogether. And if he continues on this reign, he'll be running the UFC, because Floyd was a shade away from running boxing from the outside. He reached such a level on the inside that he was actually running it basically on the outside. And that's the same direction that Conor McGregor has taken. And if you think about it, I'm sure he's taking pages from Floyd Mayweather. And to go back to that thing, if boxing and UFC, clash, Floyd Mayweather is Conor McGregor, if you think about it. Because if he started that when he was like 3, like there's some kid out there right now starting UFC training at the age of 3 that possibly would have been a boxer. And one day you'll see him and he might be a Conor McGregor, a la Floyd Mayweather. That's all I'm saying, people. I always try to make an argument make sense, and that's my job, and I'm sticking to it because I've worked with a lot of fighters from the UFC and a lot of fighters from boxing. So this is the thing. A lot of people want to understand what is it so unique about Conor McGregor, because he understands a lot of things that I try to share and speak to on angles, motion, movement. If you go to my timeline on my Facebook, you'll see I work with regular people. I work with professional athletes. I work with all kinds. I work with all types of players and people. And the science behind movement is the reason why Conor McGregor has such an illmatic game when it comes to that fighting. He's capricious when it comes to that octagon, and there's very few that can do anything with him inside of that ring. And one of the things that is duly noted when it comes to Conor McGregor is he also has that thing that has no name. You can see the brash confidence. You can see his Ali-like. You can see the skill set. Young Tyson-like. Vicious in the ring. He backs up what he says. He's knocking jokers out. He's coming for your box. This kid is pulling guys' ears off day after day. What do you say about that? All you can say is you have to tilt your hat, and this fight is going to be something that's epic and talked about for a long time. Why? Because Diaz is long. Don't get it twisted. When people see guys like that, they think, oh, he's too slow. Oh, no. Timing beats speed. So you better understand the sport of boxing, the sport of MMA. When it comes down to striking, you have to get past those fisticuffs. And if you don't understand distance, which Conor McGregor does, he's already seen several things that he can exploit when he fought. Because when he doesn't call guys out and he doesn't accept a fight, he hasn't already broken you down. And that's what happens when a guy of that skill and that caliber understands the science of movement and motion. People, nothing is guaranteed. No sport, no job. When Atari was out, people thought it was Bible. It's gone. Some kids will never even hear about it. So support your sport. That's what it's all about. Just support the sport. And stop trying to make it compare and make comparisons. Because we all are combat sports. And I am boxing. They call me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching. Because right now, you're watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the entire fight world down, round by round. Peace. Good luck to the fighters. Diaz, McGregor, keep elevating sports to the next level. Power hands in the house. Hashtag bring back the belts.